Bloomerinos, are you ready to make this? We're gonna make it together. Ta-da! Hey Bloomerinos, guess we're gonna make a really simple greenery wreath. And this one we're gonna make in the style of a very viral trending design. So if you haven't seen it yet, you're gonna love it. Come on in, let's start making this together. This one has a really simple supply list. We're gonna work with a smaller wreath base. For me, this is gonna be a 14-inch. And then we're going to use 4 greenery bushes that are all alike and just 1 roll of neutral ribbon. So it's just a great basic design that you can make anytime. It makes a great gift. But also if you're a seller, this is a great one to stock your shop with. Because it's just greenery, it can sell anytime and it works really good for people to use inside their homes as well as on their front porches in between the seasons, and those that don't really want to decorate for the seasons but want like a nice classic look all year long. This is perfect for them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm using a really nice leafy greenery that has a little bit of a bud on it. This is basically like a seeded eucalyptus. And I need to cut these really long on each bush. And I'm going to leave about 3 stems attached to the stem because I need some really long to create this kind of trailing, like a trailing look to it. It's not viney, but it's trailing. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that. So I'm going to leave 3 or 4 of these. Let's see how 4 looks on our bush to get started. Now I'm going to put my hanger on last this time just so I get a good shape going on this one. Now the thing about greenery is if you're using something with a leaf like this, I like for it to kind of face forward. We're going to go down to 3. So I'm going to try to get these leaves on this somewhat facing forward and a little bit spread out. Because the reason we didn't cut these off the stem is we need a little bit more length. This design we're making is trails off on the left-hand side. So in order to get that same look, you can see here I'm going to rotate these leaves forward. And they don't all have to be forward, but I think it looks a little bit nicer to see the front of the leaf. That's one of my major pet peeves. But you can see I spread them out. And now we're going to use these lower down on this wreath to kind of cascade off this side and start the longest part of the design. So we're going to take this and go ahead and get some glue on it here. And then we're going to work backwards. Since this design has been trending all spring, I cannot wait for us to see how it morphs into some designs we can do going into the fall. I think that's going to be really exciting. So let's go there. Now I'm going to take, I already broke down a bunch of bushes, 3 bushes already, and have rotated them to where their leaves face forward. And I'm going to start putting these in. And we're going to build up from the bottom up. Now, I prefer to cover my mechanics of glue with a little bitty ball of Spanish moss just to hide the shininess of the glue. When it dries, it usually would show. And this is just a nice and like a natural green on the Spanish moss. So I've already cut these down and rotated them all to the front. So we're going to start with these first and work our way backward. So I want to create like a little line here to go over the pieces we have already put in. You see how they're overlapping a little bit here? And you can rotate them. They're beautiful, and we're just kind of layering it up. This is a nice leafy greenery that's on a wired stem instead of just hanging like a lot of this type of greenery would be. So I love that we can control the movement in here because of the wire. That's why you want to get your floral supplies from Calise.com, because I'm really picky and I want to make sure that we've got a good fabric for the leaf, we've got a nice dimension created with the wire, and we've got good color. So we've got the combination of all that. So we're starting off just beautifully. Look at the movement. Oh yeah. All right, so we want to kind of taper a little bit as we work through here till we get up to the peak of the wreath. And that's what you have to decide, where you want to change direction. That's going to be totally up to you and kind of the shape you want to create. But I'm going to start working my way up. So, and as I go along, if I need to still turn a leaf or 2, I'm going to turn it. No problem. So I kind of use a little bit of a zigzag placement technique. That's something I teach in design school. And that'll help you get equal placement when you're putting it in. And because I've been doing this so many years, I've been able to break down the process into very simple terms and easy ways for you to understand what we're trying to accomplish in the placement. I'm always saying you can't just shove it and stuff it in there, or you get a shoved and stuffed look design. You want to think about, how am I putting it in? How am I placing it? Oh, it's so lush. This is so pretty. I love this. You know, and this has that pretty green that would work all summer long. And of course, you can add anything you want to this look. We could add florals. It's a great foundation. Matter of fact, I did a video the other day using a BBB box, and we kind of created this same type of base. We didn't make it quite as full as this one because we were layering more flowers with it. But can you see how pretty it is so far? And this is my really elongated side. Gorgeous. All right, so before I get over here to the transition part, let's see how far we want to come on this side and kind of work on our shape. So I'm going to take a few pieces and we're going to work outward. Now going on the other side of a C. This is like an elongated C shape. Okay. Let's put this piece in. We can start here and start to decide how far we want to come down. I definitely want it longer on this side and shorter on this side. Let's give that a flip. Yeah. So if that's going to be our longest point, you can see how this is going to come down, and I'm going to work from there backward. I like using about 4 bushes to do this with, of this particular bush. You may need more or less if you don't work with what I'm telling you today I'm using. Just kind of depends on how full you want it. And of course, I want it pretty lush. Of course I want it lush. Oh, y'all, I am loving this type of trend. This is more kind of my style, a little bit more natural, and just a little simple, but I think it gives you that beautiful finished look. We take our time and build it up, and we're still zigzagging, and we're just paying attention to where our finished pieces are going to lay as we work our way up. Now, I am still rotating leaves because I think it's important. I don't want to see the backs of anything, and that's why I'm getting such a good look here. And it's layering so pretty together. Look at that. It's really pretty. Now let's go on the top. So I'm going to rotate these around. Flip them around, and I'll go back to the top. And I want to make sure we're kind of beefy up here, like fullness up here. I made some gorgeous horse head wreaths that we did for Wreath Makers Live last year, and they kind of use this same technique to get the fullness. We used pampas grass, some different type, they almost were like millet, artificial millet seed bushes. And all of that was just so pretty when we layered it up. Okay, you can see our shape come in here. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look. So pretty. So pretty. This leaf was a perfect choice for this. And I'm going to show you how we're going to build up this. We're going to build it 2 ways. So I think it's a good idea to have some options with or without the bow. So you need to know how to make it nice and neat and clean in case you decide, hey, my customer doesn't want a bow, I don't prefer a bow. You have both options. Time to cut our last bush for fullness, and then we'll need to do the same thing and make sure that these are all facing forward also. So now I'm working up kind of in the transition zone where we will be putting the bow. Let me go up above. Y'all, we are gearing up for our latest seasonal workshop. I'm very excited about it. So make sure you're asking about it in the comments. We can give you a link to come join us. And don't forget, Design School members, they don't pay for workshops. They get workshops for free. So it's another benefit for being in Design School. Let's come below the transition down here. Just gonna watch. Oh, so pretty. So I'm gonna fill in right here really tight while we're changing direction, because just in case we don't want to use a bow in there, I want you to have both options so you can see it both ways. Oh, it's so pretty. So beautiful. And it's the wire that's making this leaf greenery work, because I'm able to give motion to each piece. That's your secret sauce, guys. It's the motion. And we're able to create that because it has a nice wire. All right, I'm gonna come a little bit more to the outside here. All right. This is so pretty. This would be gorgeous, like to make a garland too, to match this. All right, now what I want you to do is kind of step back from your piece and take a look and see, hey, where do I have any holes? Where did I miss a little space? I'm gonna put one more right in here. And this one that goes in here needs to be a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna just cut a piece into two pieces. And you can easily do that by just trimming it, and now I have two. And I'm gonna come in right in the center. Now, where the direction changes is where you're gonna put your bow, and we would call that your bow zone in design school. That's where we're gonna put our bow. But if you don't want a bow and you just want all greenery, that's okay too. What you want to do is just work in this section to where you get good coverage where the direction changes. See how pretty? Don't you love it? But if you are wanting a bow, I am going to show you how to make a really simple bow that you can put right on this. So if you need the link to the video about making the bow, just ask in the comments. We'll give you that. But, haha! Here is where you can take a simple, beautiful, like burlap, natural linen bow, and all we got to do is just come in and just tie it right into our design right here, where the direction changes with that greenery. And we are set. What do you think? Let me find the longest tails here, and I'm going to curl these up a little bit. Leave these longer. But what do you think? Can you do that? You can. Bow or no bow, you have both options. And I think it's a beautiful finished wreath. And I hope you're ready to play with all that elegance that's in this one, because I can't wait to see what you make with flowers.